Hello, hello, my lovely leaguers. Talisman, potion, warding totem, and we're gonna be going Cho'Gath in the jungle. Now this is actually unique. Ribbon. I'm gonna see if I can get Ribbon to help out with Lee's red. Want to help me with these red Ribbon. Now the reason why I'm asking him to help out is Lee as soon as he's got red buff and he's level 3. It will slow Lee down a bunch. Okay, we'll see how this goes. We'll wait a bit. Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna attempt I hit him. Pretty good. Now I need to okay. That was actually pretty good at Teemo. Bot lane. I gotta cover my That was kind of odd. We're gonna walk this way. Like, why would Lee waste his time with my wolves when he needs to go get my my red? That was crazy. That was so crazy. I'm gonna mark this up. Wait for Mr. Red here. Lee wants to make plays early game. So how frustrating is it, Ori? How frustrating is it? Adios, buddy. You see? So now you see at what lengths the poor guy has to go through here. But yeah. All this is planned. But yeah, if you, Alright, now we're gonna go back. So essentially, Lee is, Gonna grab that, gonna grab boots, gonna head out. Lee needs his, what do you call it, his, I think Lee would start trying to make some desperate plays at this point. Not sure, though. But we have, okay. Alright, did as much as I could do there. But yeah, Lee has to make some desperate plays. Just hide back here for a moment. Get what we can. Alright. The Teemo is really, trying to win his lane quick. But he doesn't have any, damage off on the turret, which is excellent. I'm gonna try to participate here. All those eggs going on. That's hilarious. Alright, we're gonna protect him going back to base. I'm gonna see if Oriana is foolish here. Okay, she's just gonna back off. We're gonna check, we're gonna clear this. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So she used her, okay, we're gonna fire that off. She used her, what was it? Her, I don't know if it was her ultimate that she used. Okay, this is 1,000. We're just going to, okay. Okay. Yeah, so the bot lane, respect the Q. Oh well, that's good. They aren't gonna get too much, if any, damage on bot lane. And Riven just killed the Teemo. So that's really good. Adios. Sometimes it's too easy, boys. She was trying to do some dancey dance, so she would miss my rupture. Gangplank should be safe. Not. Nope. Not respecting the Q again. Okay. That's not the ping I wanted. Well, that's nice. Well, it's so obvious that... Nope, Teemo! I don't think so. So right now on their team... Alright, I totally messed that up. So right now, on their team, who has the kills? Lee has all the kills. But Lee, he's probably gonna get Dragon. He won't have a red when he gets back from Dragon. Dang it. It's like he didn't do that. Okay, we're gonna pop this. Reveal the Teemo. Ooh, nice flash. Oh, the man. Okay. All yours, Riven. Okay. Need to have come sooner, Riven. Okay. So we're gonna get some of this action. Now that was unfortunate. I probably shouldn't have tried to protect that. We're gonna get some Gargoyle Stone Plate reward. Okay, let's try to read this sentence for a moment from Gangplank. Not even that you can't predict for something. Okay, that was a real sentence from somebody. Oh yeah, come on, Gangplank. Uh-oh. Okay. Looking for... So although, okay. So they'll be taking that. Or actually board this, because the Lee is kind of tricky. That Lee is a little tricky. Alright, good job, guys. So yeah, things have gone a little bit awry. Alright, we're gonna try to ignore that. Some vision over here. Pop that. Now, since Riven and since Riven and them are top, we're gonna go over here. Gonna have the blue come over here. Yep. She should be dead as well. Might be able to get out. But yeah, what the enemy is trying to do is get the advantage early game. I'm gonna try to, well, let's put the wards out. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna get blasted by the I have to flash over. Nope. I should be fine. Ah. Okay. He used his kick. Okay, that's not good. Gotta get out of that. Alright. So Ori used her ultimate, that's great. But yeah, their team knows that they're on a clock right now. Because the further the game goes into late, the more we're gonna just be monsters here. We're gonna get items that's gonna build into Randuin's Omen. Now, as it stands, like, Lee has all the kills, but Lee, his damage spike stops. And Sivir has lots of ways of avoiding things like that. Okay, we're not. Yeah, so we're not even going to bother. Just gonna keep pinging. Now we're going to... Okay. Let's see if I screwed myself over here. Okay, I did screw myself over. Stay out of areas I read thing. No, we're gonna grab this guy. Now this is a little risky, but I think they'll be able, yeah, they'll be able to do that easy. But yeah, that's my fault right there. Because I took that pathing for the Orianna. But this is fine because we're late game and they're not. What they have to do is they have to be sneaky. And, alright, so looking at, yeah, 1,000. Okay. Gonna ward up our area. Oh, man. Why do I keep walking like this? I gotta stop doing that. Okay, the ribbon. Ribbon. There were 3 versus 1. Okay. So this game, it's just too many mistakes. Just way too many mistakes. Mistakes for me, mistakes for everybody, sadly. Yeah, so I'm baiting our team badly. All right, sorry, Gangplank. Baited. Yeah, so actually the Orianna is pretty oh. Not even sure. Need to have some synergy here. Yeah, Oriana, she got she got Leandries. Yeah, alright. Well, it's something. Yeah, she's dead. Yeah, she does hurt. Yeah, that Ori hurts, man. That's hilarious. But she's gonna win. Yeah. Alright. My goodness, this game. Alright, this game's over. But yeah, I made mistakes as well. My pathing was horrible. So, who's gonna get that? Well, I think, we'll give it to that. Riven just couldn't do enough in the mid-game. The Oriana, like, the Oriana... The Oriana, what's interesting is, like, she got Leandri's Torment, and I guess it's like she got... Did she really get that far ahead, is my question. Like, in the end, when she died, she bought the Black Cleaver just for fun. But the Lee actually carried this game. Wow. That was pretty amazing. But it was my fault that I pathed the way that I did. So I pretty much lost the game for everybody because of the way I pathed. Yep. There was a decent amount of mistakes done by our team. The Oriana was lying in wait for certain people, and that's kind of how you gotta play it. She knew that her teammate's peak was at mid game, and waiting around to assassinate people to gain the advantage is how they won. What worked against them is the Lee getting a lot of the kills, but it did enable their team to continue to get turrets. And Ori, which was crazy because just a little while ago I saw that Ori didn't have much damage on the mid tower, and then the next time I checked it, she had a ton of damage. So I took pathing for granted, and I just walked right, but right where they were, and I didn't respect the Vayne. The Vayne is going to pursue me. The Lee was going to slow me down and all that other stuff. And I mean, I guess it's like I thought it was something that they wouldn't do because of how tanky I was, or that my team would like back up if they're focused on me. But that was my mistake, because I did that twice. I did that twice where I pathed where I thought, oh, it's no big deal. And you can see like the Lee Sin was suffering in farm. When I slowed him down by taking his red, that impacted him greatly in the early game, and he had to make some desperate plays at that point. But still, I thought we could crawl back from that. But again, I made some really irrational pathing moves that cost us the game. So really, yeah, I needed to respect, like, here's them. I needed to be way over here. And I was not far enough away from them. So at that point in the game, they were strong. And it hadn't been late game yet. And so me taking a pathing right like there, it enables them in their desperation. They have to look for people that are out of position, that are in brush. So that's another thing that I could have done. It's hard to predict exactly where people are going to hide, but it's a good chance that if you're not warding during the point where they need to kill people to get objectives, turrets or dragons or whatever, you should ward around your guys. And Orianna knew how to play. Like, she knew that they had to dominate early, and she knew how powerful that she was. It was a little obnoxious how strong she had gotten that at that stage of the game, which is about mid to late game. Orianna, as far as late game concerned, she is. I think she would be a late game champion, I think. But the rest of them, they fell behind in as far as what they could do. The Vayne was falling behind, so really the Orianna and the Lee did the work to end the game, and they did a good job. They did a good job. As far as items are concerned, going Gargoyles Stone Plate I think was okay. I took for granted the amount of space I needed to give the enemy team, because if you play on multiple champions, if you play like on a Vi or a Cho'Gath or a Nunu, one of my last Nunu games, I was just zipping around the map, using Nunu's Blood Boil speed up, and when you work with different champions, you get a different sense of what you can do and what you can't do. With Cho'Gath, I was slow, I was sloth-like, and I should have instantly respected the fact that these people can catch up to me, and then they have to make a move at that point if they see me. But that's another thing too. They were pushing back our laners, and then when they saw me, they knew that I was all alone, or some variance of that, and then they took advantage. And I did that twice, and it could be from the resulting game of where I played a Nunu, and I stuck around certain areas and baited people in my new game, and I ran pretty quickly away from people. Secondly, I had what is the item? I had a different item in the beginning. I had the defensive item that you get a little bit of a speed up after a while. That's also what I got. So even though as tanky as I was, you know, I was out of position, and that ended the game for our team. I mean, there are things that our team did mistakenly, but for me, and I did this twice, I was out of position, and all I had to do was make sure that they stay CC'd, that I take the damage. Orianna and Orianna's ult were were the most dangerous things that we'd have to look out for. I could have typed, you know, well, first of all, don't position yourself where I positioned, because that was totally stupid. Secondly, I have to take into account that Orianna's ult is very powerful at the moment, and they're going to use, you know, their combo to try to get at us. And it's very dangerous at that point. So what I said before is I would like to tell people look out for Orianna's ult, but I don't think like sending that message, I'm not sure if that would have done the job. I think what we should have done, or at least what I should have done, is give up the turret. We can form some kind of defense, but when you stand around a turret and other people are like, well, let's stand around a turret with them, that enables an Orianna ult to go off flawlessly. And then Lee Sin charges in, and then Vayne goes in, so we're all dead. So essentially, like, your actions have to be one step ahead of the enemies. If you give them respect, meaning you let them have the turret, because as far as dialogue is concerned, people aren't going to pay attention to that. They're going to say, I didn't even pay attention to that. I'm not, you know, I'm on full tilt, whatever. But what the case should be is, while they're at the turret, you need to ward your inner jungle, and so that when they take the turret and they reposition, that nobody's caught out in the jungle. Nobody is forced out. So that's the safety play. That's what you have to do at that point. For me, it was, I couldn't even get past the point that I was in the wrong position. As soon as they saw me, they went on me, and I was dead. And I had done this once before. Actually, I did this 3 times, except the third time I had my flash. And I was thinking, I'm just going to throw them off using the flash. But in that case, I should have pathed better to avoid them altogether and not have to waste my flash. You would want to use a flash on something like some offensive move, like I did with Orianna earlier in the game. Or use it strategically, and in that case, I just used it because I was out of position, and I knew that Orianna would blow me up, and I think Lee Sin was coming around the bend too. So yeah, I needed to, for that game, I needed to ward better. It could be possible that me knowing that Lee Sin would show up in certain areas, that I should be there to assist the situation. It is hard to know exactly when Lee will show up. Lee got 2 kills bot lane. And one of those kills was because of me. Like, Nami was still hanging around. Nami would have exited, but Nami still hung around until Lee threw out his Q. So as soon as I engaged Lee to slow him down, Nami was dead. So that's a case where the lane is gonna die, or the tower is gonna die. The lane is gonna disappear. But what I should have done was just ward, because Lee can just throw out a Q. That's what's interesting about Lee. That's what's interesting about his build, like his kit. I mean, he can do things that my champion can't even dream to do, as far as versatility, mobility, and utility. But yeah, so when I came bot, all I should have done was ward and then leave. There was nothing like me to go down there with both of them on low HP, only stood to make the situation worse, because now that they're there, I mean, now that I'm there, they feel, oh, maybe we can stick around, maybe we can fight this out. I mean, not when you got a Vayne, you got a Lee that can move around faster than I can and kick you away from the tower and stuff like that. It's just too many things can go wrong. So why attempt it in the first place? So here's a tip for me in the future and for you guys. So if a tower is going down, the guys are low, a gank is coming, whatever the case is, ward around the areas that an enemy jungler could path to get to those champions that are falling off the turret, and then just leave. As a jungler, just leave. Your presence is only going to make things worse. And that's the safe play to make. Like, grab your jungle stuff, grab your camps. But yeah, I mean, and if you're across the map and you see that something's going down, you see that Lee Sin's not on the map, you gotta ping like crazy and tell him to get away. But yeah, this game was really an example of mitigating damage, or mitigating our losses in the early game, so we can come back in the late game. But we did not mitigate. We played the fool. All right, guys. So as far as itemization, you got Nami. She really doesn't have anything defensive. She's got a redemption plus Raptor's cloak, so she's very squishy. We didn't have too much time in the game to get powerful, and it's pretty much as it stands. Like Gangplank, he doesn't even have any of his crit items, so he's pretty much a walking disaster. Ribbon has got full. She's got a little AD, but not much, not nearly as much to try to fend off the Orianna. And then for me, I've got a little magic defense, but as you saw, they can all, you know, if I am positioning the way I am, it's not going to help anybody out. Nami might have done better if she built a Gaius. She built that shield thing first to avoid extra damage coming from Orianna ult. But Redemption's still a decently solid item. And Nami is just gonna explode on the scene once she starts getting hit. And then the silver was doing okay. As far as farm goes, they were all doing pretty good. Gangplank is down in farm compared to the Orianna. That's to be expected because Orianna was just a monster that game. The Sivir compared to the Vayne, actually, she was quite a bit ahead. So she could have been our way to get out of the situation. But respecting the Orianna is something that we didn't do. And then she just had fun with the situation with her Black Cleaver. I mean, she probably bought that at the last moment when she died. But yeah, she's got pretty much her full build here. And she could have, and she, so full build at this stage in the game, she's incredibly, we would have to have 4 people at least to subdue her, to take her out. Probably 5 people. And then you had the Lee Sin that was covering her early on. That I did slow down, but he was making some desperate plays. But that's what he needed to do. He needed to push the early to mid so they didn't have just problems after problems of extending into the late game. So you've got the same old stuff with the Lee Sin. You have a Ravenous Hydra, and that was because he was ahead earlier, and then he would build into more tanky items like Black Cleaver, and he's got his warriors, and after that he would build into more tankier items, becoming the bruiser that we all know and love. The Soraka on their team, it's rough to have a Soraka on their team. But I don't even think we got to the point where they really needed Soraka. Because the fights weren't long and drawn out. Soraka would be a problem later on in the game because people would not die. And so end game fights would still be pretty tough because Vayne's late game. And so the Orianna would do a lot of damage to everybody. So as far as late game versus early game, it's basically the same thing going on. And Lee Sin had to push he knew to push the early game. So it could be that everybody knew their positions, their parts, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say if people understand the early to mid game, because if one side's getting ahead, you can say, well, they understand the early to mid game better. But on our side, that's okay. Cho'Gath is late game, late game, late game. So 3 people on our team are late game. So we might have had too many people that were late game. They have 1, 2, 3. So they have 3 people as late game. So they just did a better job at taking. They just did a better job. Lee Sin suffered on his farming, but it did not matter in the end. And my warding, I guess it just didn't help enough. But yeah, so positioning when you're playing Cho'Gath, because you're so slow, you really got to watch positioning. As far as items go, the only thing that was ridiculous is this item right here, but I figure she just bought it for the fun. Because she was just so ridiculously far ahead. 17 to our highest, which was 14, and the highest was me and Riven didn't stand a chance. Because she would do so much damage in the period of time where she would have... Before Riven even would get to Orianna would chunk her. So she had no chance. So she just... she got one by one, we got baited by the Orianna. And for an Orianna to do something like that, she has got to understand why that she can do that and how she can do that. Not everybody at this stage knows how to do that. And so she's, I would say that she is, in terms of her understanding of the game, she's at least platinum. Because a lot of people don't know, you know, how strong you are currently and what you can do. And that takes some time to figure out. And you got to think about these things. And she knew, maybe she didn't know to the extent that I know, but she could have known instinctively. But I think she knew to the extent that I do. That she was, I think she is like late game. I feel like she is. But she is still a pretty good powerhouse. I don't know. I'd have to get some other people's opinions on whether or not Orianna is a late game champion or not. Because I've seen the kind of damage that she can do late game. It's not gonna kill people like if you're all tanky and have all MR. Or yeah. But certainly at this stage, she knew how powerful she was. Being able to take the Riven like that. I know if I see a Riven coming after me, I am in panic mode. But Orianna was clear, like, she had her hard hat on, and it's kind of amazing that she's in this elo. But it just goes to show, like, if you know how to play your champion and you get ahead, how strong you seem versus other games where you could not be as good. All right, so we're gonna close out the game. We're gonna try another game today. See if we can't do any better. I felt so bad at making those misplays that I want to try again. That was horrible that I was making those misplays. All right, guys, I will see you in a bit. Hi-yo.